It's a travel day, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to put the Sony A7c to the test and check out its video capabilities whilst on the run, and share my thoughts about using this camera. For the past week here in the Greek islands, I'm on the island of Ithaca, and I have to say, I think it's going to be quite an epic travel day. Been some wild storms for the past couple of days, so we've got a bit of a challenge to get off this island by a ferry and then a coach and then a plane back to London, leaving super early because the seas are absolutely wild and we've been upgraded to a larger ferry. So let's see how it goes. I'll try and capture it all. If I can hold on to my camera and my hat, I will bring you along for the ride. And hopefully, if you're thinking of buying this camera to use for travel purposes, you might find this useful to see what my experience has been like for the first 3 months of using it. So without further ado, I've got to get cracking. So let's go and get on this boat. Back on terra firma, nearly home, just a flight to go, weathered the storm and that ferry crossing, but it did give a good opportunity to capture some dramatic footage. So I thought, while I'm waiting for the flight, I'd take this opportunity to share a little bit of my experience of having used the Sony A7c now for a solid week here on the beautiful Greek islands, as well as having used it for the past 3 months. I did in fact make an unboxing video when I bought the camera 3 months ago, as well as sharing my reasons for upgrading from my Sony A7R Mark II. If you want to check that out, I will put the link up here and you can. As a brief overview, I absolutely love the camera. And first and foremost, I think the form factor is an absolute winner, especially when it comes down to traveling, using the camera on a day-to-day basis and doing things such as vlogging, because it means that it's a small and compact setup, but with all the benefit of such an amazing spec. Having the full frame and all of the capabilities packed into such a small body really has blown me away, because I didn't want to compromise and go down from a full frame camera, having used one for such a long time now, but I wanted something that I would make me use it a little bit more, both in those proper shoot kind of settings where I go out and do a sunrise or a sunset or capture some really cinematic footage, as well as when traveling with other people. I wanted to go out for dinner, take it out for lunch, and making sure that I've got it with me. Because it's so small, I've been able to carry it everywhere, either with my full setup or indeed just out and about around the town. I've used the Peak Design capture clip, which goes on my backpack or my belt, which has made it really useful to carry, and it's not too heavy. Secondly, the upgrade in video performance has really been a game changer for me. I used the A7R Mark II, as I previously mentioned, which was never made to be a video camera. So for me, using this and having the capability of being able to shoot in slow-mo, I can shoot 120 frames per second at 1080, which means being able to shoot that really cinematic, nice B-roll from my vlogs and videos, especially when traveling. If you're on a boat, a plane, a train, anything that moves, you can stick it out the window and it just looks super cinematic. Also, the autofocus system is just next level, and when making videos like this, I know and I can feel really confident that it's capturing me in focus and not something that's happening behind me, and it locks onto your eye really well. And lastly, just to mention a few little physical changes that have been made to the camera, which really make life a lot easier for both photo and video. Include the slightly larger and easier to press record button for video is now on the top rather than on the side, and it's nice and big, you won't miss it. The batteries are much better. The bigger form factor of the battery means you get loads more battery life. I've hardly had to charge this camera at all, and considering I probably shot about 600 pictures and loads of video across the week, I've probably only charged it once, and that was just because I was being a bit of a panic and didn't want to run out. And lastly, the biggest thing for me, again, when vlogging, but also for photos when shooting low and high, is the flip out screen. My last screen just articulated, but this one actually flips out to the side, so you can make sure I'm in frame, capturing everything nicely, and happy days, you don't have to re-record anything at all. And you can also obviously check that you're recording and that you're in focus too. So overall, very, very good review of the camera. Absolutely love it. There is one compromise I'm probably making, which I feel was slightly better on my last camera, which was the electronic viewfinder. They've downsized it on this, and I think the quality is not quite as good. I found myself not actually using it that much. I'd only use it for photos anyway, but I tend to use the screen a little bit more unless I'm in really, really bright conditions and I can't see at all. Just not quite as good as it was on the last camera, but it's something I'm working around and probably happy to make a compromise with, considering all of the bonus features that I am now getting into this camera. So overall, it's a win for me, and I think if you want to go for it and you want to travel, you want to vlog, or you want to take really, really nice high quality photos, all in one package is pretty much a do-all camera. You will not go wrong with this. So I hope you found this useful. I will follow up with some other videos. I might talk about my whole setup in terms of lenses and what I'm using for a nice compact travel setup, as well as the accessories that I use. And I had some requests for what kind of settings I use, because when you're flipping between video and photo, it can be quite a challenge, as I found on this trip. But I think with this camera, I feel like I've got it a little bit more nailed, so maybe I'll make a video and share those with you. If you do have any questions or things you'd like to know about the camera, please drop me a comment below and I will endeavour to answer them. And I will leave you with some of my photos from this trip to Greece. Such a stunning place, really pumped up and inspired to go out and take more photos now. Hope it gives you a little bit of inspiration too, just to fly home now, and I will see you in the next video.